Everyone's heard of a balanced diet, right? That's been the standard health advice for literally thousands of years, but we don't all agree on what a balanced diet means. In the UK, we're taught about the 5 food groups: carbohydrates, protein, dairy, fruit and vegetables, fats and sugars. A balanced diet means getting the right proportions of each. The 5-group model comes in all shapes and sizes: pyramid, tent, flag, spinning top. It's the most common, but it's not the only one. In Fiji, there are only 3 food groups: protective, bodybuilding, and energy. In the 1940s, the USA used a 7-group model, including one group just for butter and margarine. If you asked a medieval European, though, they wouldn't categorise foods by their nutritional properties. A balanced diet is about regulating the 4 humours and getting the right balance of wet, dry, hot and cold. And in traditional Chinese philosophy, a balanced diet is about the right mix of yin and yang. Bitter, soft, raw and wet foods are usually yin. They cool down and nourish the body. Yang foods are heating and energising. Sweet, salty, spicy and dry foods tend to be yang. A healthy meal has a good balance of energy. Cultures have different understandings of how bodies work, and so they're gonna have different understandings of how food affects the body. The people of Alush think about their bodies in terms of solids and liquids, so that's how they think of food too. 7 food groups for 7 body parts, 3 dry, 4 wet, all associated with a colour. All you need to do is keep those in balance and you're good. We'll start with the dry colours: white, clay and dark brown. White foods are things like finely milled flour, milk, rice and salt. They're good for your bones, so children, the old and the sick should eat a lot of white foods. But if you're a healthy adult with healthy bones, you should only eat a little, or you'll get bloated and sick. Clay is pretty self-explanatory. You eat flesh to strengthen flesh, so this group is basically just meat. Brown legumes can also work if you cook them with a meaty texture. Eating clay-coloured foods is especially important if you're pregnant or menstruating, since the body's losing solids that need to be replenished. And dark brown food nourishes organs. This group includes grains, nuts, legumes and seeds, all the daily staples. You might be thinking, didn't I say rice and flour were white? Well, it depends on how you prepare them. Nuts and grains are like people. They've got a white centre and a brown shell. If you leave the shell on, they'll nourish the whole body. If you remove the bran, you're only eating the bones, so it'll only nourish your bones. The dry colours make up the bulk of your physical form. If you don't eat enough, you'll waste away. But you need wet colours too, or you'll dry up. Red foods are hearty and indulgent. They get your blood flowing and make you feel strong. Red foods tend to be sweet, juicy or fatty, things like cherries, pomegranates, olives and eggs. Yellow is the colour of urine. Yellow foods are pungent, bitter and sharp, and their flavours linger on your tongue. Things like garlic, honey, lemons, ginger and spring onions. These foods help you calm down and keep focused. Green foods are crunchy and hydrating. They make you feel energetic and alert, and help produce saliva. This group includes most vegetables. Lettuce, fennel, carrot, cucumber and lotus root are all considered green. And blue foods are complex and earthy. They include red cabbage, mushrooms, wine, and anything else fermented. These foods are good for what the Alush call the emotional fluid. If you're nervous, that fluttery feeling is emotional fluid rushing around the body. When you cry, that's emotional fluid escaping the eyes. Kissing helps people bond, because emotional fluids mix with saliva. Well, if you like the person you're kissing, at least. Now, none of these categories are super strict. Foods can move between categories depending on how a person perceives or prepares them. This happens in real life too. Traditional Mexican medicine relies on the theory of opposites. Cold illnesses are cured by hot treatments. Hot illnesses need cooling medicine. Everyone agrees that chocolate and garlic are hot, cactus and vinegar are cold, but for a lot of foods it really depends on context. Same with Alush, there's a lot of grey area. But everyone can agree that staying healthy needs balance. If you're feeling heavy and sluggish, you're eating too much red food, so your blood's getting thick. If you can't sleep, you've got too much green energy. You should eat more yellow to focus your mind. Digestive issues? Eat nuts and whole grains to strengthen your organs. Socially anxious? Drink wine. Well, not if you're underage, of course. Babies are born full of emotional fluid. That's why they cry so much. You need to be really emotionally mature to handle a pickle.